Hey YouTube, welcome back to Shuffle Casual. Here today, I finally have our first game, round 1 of our store championship we had last weekend. I'm playing on the left, BeelStar, against my opponent Ginny, who's playing Imperial, and Ginny has won the roll-off to go first. So she hatched her egg and evolved into an EX-Vmon, and then passed his turn by playing a dual tamer. I hatch my egg and play Gabumon, so that's a good start. Digivolve for 2 into Doberman, which is a good opening card. We have glare right now on my cards. Sorry about that. It'll change in a few minutes. We'll actually hit Digimon After Dark, and we'll close the light that's on top of us. Just give it a little bit of time. Sorry about that. Alright, so, and I play my blue tamer, passing over 2 memory to Imperial Digimon. She raises her Digimon, gains 1 from Davis and Ken. Digivolves into Lydramon for 2. Actually, yeah, for 2, but she had accidentally paid 3. She was looking at the Digivolve cost and not the special Digivolve requirements on a Vmon. So she still has 1 memory. And plays a Vmon, Searcher Vmon. I believe that searches for free. And gets an Imperial Digimon Fighter mode. And passes 2 memory over, but I have a memory tamer, so I'll start at 3. Draw for turn. Classic raise. And we're just talking, because I had played this altered Doberman version a while back, a couple of weeks ago, but more in my BeelZimon list, not BeelStar. So we're talking about that. Swing for 4K. I did not trash for the +1, but Doberman survives. I really like that 5th egg that I saw people are teching into it as a discard option or outlet for my hand. So it's not just the fact that you want your Digimons to survive, and, well, actually they become a problem for my opponent at one point because you're just swinging with these level 4s, but just the discard outlet sometimes to unclog your hand or to play cards, not having, it makes a big difference. So I play Kokaida's Breath for 7, which feels bad because I'm giving a lot of memory, but returning the armor to her hand that she'll be able to replay on the Vmon, but I kind of also stopped her from getting an extra memory that way. I don't know if that was a play, but I'm guessing my hand was clogged with a lot of events and I just had to get them out. So she evolves again a Vmon onto her egg. She's sitting at 5, so we're looking at her hand. She got Lydramon back. We know she has fighter mode. Digivolve into a Stingmon for 2 on the Vmon. See, there you go. Digimon After Dark. They just closed those lights down for us. Thanks. So that should take care of the glare. And Digivolves into her Lydramon in raising for 2 again. Yes, she remembered. Draw. Now looking at her hand, I mean, hard dropping a level 3 or 4 is a little hard. Odds are it won't survive. It could be a time for a Davis. Yeah, there you go. So Davis for 4. Davis will get her a Pilgrimon and a Stingmon. Bottom deck the dual tamer, but she already has one. So, and pass the turn over with 3 memory. So rinse and repeat. Hatch an egg for me. Digivolve into Gauzy X Antibody. It's a decent card, right? It's an interesting addition to the deck. I didn't use it much for the extra trash or filter, but it did happen quite a few times where I Digivolved for 0 on top of a Gauzy just to get that much deeper into my deck. So Doberman swings for 4K. I'm going to start the on deletion effects because I swing into Dragon mode. So trash 3 cards with Doberman. I'll probably get that Ogremon. Actually, Ogremon all day was pretty sweet. It actually caused a lot of problems and headaches for my opponents. I'm real happy about that edition. I could imagine that some of these versions eventually would even play 2, depending on the meta, obviously. So Ogremon's in hand. My Digimon gone. I took her down to 3 security, so Obviously, I'm a little bit worried. But this is round 1. This is my first tournament, my first experience with BeelStar. BeelStar was always on my radar as a list that I wanted to build, but I never did. So she accidentally puts that back in hand when it's deleted, so it should go to trash. That's just a mistake. I gladly remind her. But it was a fun deck. I had fun with it. This is my first experience, and obviously, first round I had to end up on the first table and be on camera. So it's not because I'm doing these videos that I'm not necessarily stressed when I'm camera. Obviously, there's a little bit of, well, not everybody. Some people handle it well. I tend to put a little bit extra pressure on myself. Don't want to make as many play mistakes, and I'm playing against a list that can actually rush me, so that's maybe more the stress. Is I'm feeling that I don't want to misplay because I'm feeling the pressure. Anyways, so she raises her Elydramon, plays a Stingmon, and then DNA Digivolves into a Paildramon for free, gets her draw. Paildramon effect doesn't trigger, there's nothing on the battlefield. Swing for 8k, she'll get her draws, unsuspend, gain 1 memory. Doesn't get the second draw because, yeah, Paildramon doesn't have jamming in this instance, right? It's not on XVmon, it's on Elydramon and on Stingmon. She survives the first check. Paildramon swinging again for 8, gets a draw from Stingmon again because it's not once per turn, into my Psychmon. And then plays oh. Is she gonna Digi into Dragon Mode? No, she's gonna Digi into Mimi. Mimi is becoming more and more of a tech in a lot of these Imperial Dramon lists. As a matter of fact, she'll have an impact later on in the video. You'll see. So, and it Digivolves into EX1 Vmon in the back and raising. I'm guessing she's gonna Dragon Mode there. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't remember all the game and how things played out, but Dragon Mode for 4. Draw for Digi. Tap Dual Tamer to unsuspend, so I don't attack it. Odds are I wasn't going to attack it. I mean, going to use spells, but not spells options, but yeah, I can't really attack a level 6 just like that with a level 3 in raising. That's not what this deck does, but that's fine. So start at 4. Raise Gazi X. If I would have, you'd think I'd slam it down if I have a Eismon, right? Do I have a Scatter Mode? I do have a Scatter Mode. Okay. I'm surprised by the hesitation, but Scatter Mode for 2. Eismon Scatter Mode 4 into security, survive the check. So she's down to 2 security. I did manage to not rush her, but get her down fairly easily. Problem is I only have 3 security, and she's got 3 swings coming at me next turn. 2 level 4s and a level 6. What's my next move? I'm guessing I have a lot of options in hand. I do have 5 options, level 7 cost options. So that if I do BeelStarmon at this point, I mean, it'd be reduced by 5, so it's a 7 cost. I'd give her 5 memory, which is a lot, but maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't have the options in hand anymore, so I have to BeelStarmon. So yeah, for 7, putting her at 5. And then I'd trigger the Gewalt, which would kill her 2 level 4s. So at least I'm getting rid of 2 attacks, but I did give her a lot of memory. And she does have a Vmon in raising, so I think... sorry. And she gains 2 memory from the Dual Tamer. So with 7 memory, I think she can pull it off. It depends on her hand. Looking at her hand now, she's got Fire Mode, she's got a Paildramon in there. If she's got a way to climb into these level 4s, there you go, Mimi for the last egg. So if she can actually climb into level 4s and get Paildramon, that's probably game. Now she's got Hammer Spark, she's got Megadeth, like all the tools seem there. XV, Digivolve for 2. Let's go, Ginny. I think you can take this. Ginny's are one of our resident green players, and green not being so hot until recently. She moved on to a better deck into Imperial Dramon, so she's learning a lot of the combos, maybe a little late to the party, but having a lot of fun with it. And it's funny because now that green's good, she's actually playing Imperial. Yeah, I lent her my grandest list last event last Thursday, I think, and she had fun with it. So Dragon Mode swings into security, 4k survives. She then Digivolves into Fighter Mode. She's got 3 memory left. Tap the dual tamer to unsuspend it. She can bounce I think it's 10,000 or less, so scatter mode goes back to my hand. So this is basically what I'd seen, right? It looks like worst case scenario, controlling my board, and she gets all the triggers, all the actions. So she's not rushing me, but she's getting all. I'm giving her so much memory that she's getting all these combos activated in place, which should win her the game, right? So she then suspends me as she swings, untaps, suspends me, and she survives a check for 6. Then thinking about either swinging into security or swinging into my Digimon. If she swings into security, she figures that she probably has game, but hits a nail bone. So nail bone. At first, I'm doing the main effect, taking a level 3 and a level 4. And then I'll remember. Don't worry. I know. I will remember. That's not the effect. I just... Like I say, this is my first time playing the deck, but I do remember, so I only put a level 4 down and went back, and there's a blocker on the field. So now she doesn't have game until she climbs up into level... I mean, she's got Dino B in hand, so she does have game. Just needs to think about it or see it. There you go. So for 4, Dino B. Normal Digivolves, which is fine, because, I mean, DNA just means I won't unsuspend on my next unsuspend phase. She'll still tap me and swing for game. So, I can't say a quick first game, but it felt quick enough for me on the receiving end. Funny, we both have these silver sleeves, card sleeves too, so... yeah, I have to try to remind myself and remember not to give her so much memory, which is hard sometimes, especially when you have a handful of 7-cost events. Hopefully the next game will go different, and or if I see enough scatter modes or level 4s and my level 4 survives, or get a chance to crash early, which it did, but it just, I think that volume of attacks or that aggression kind of stopped at one point on my end, and I had to start playing some bigger cards. But I'm wondering what I'm going to choose here. Am I going to choose to go first, or am I going to choose to go second? I do like getting the extra card and using the memory she'll give me from going first, but putting Imperial in that position that it wants to be first. Oof. Anyway, so everything's set up, everything's shuffled. Go to security. Anyway, so good news, YouTube. I'm going to start promoting this channel a little bit more with this store championship. I tried to mix it up and get as many games or different matchups or different decks as possible. We do have 4 rounds. However, one of the things that'll speed up the process is I believe 1, if not 2 of our games were played on camera and played in English, which means that I don't have to voice over in English because a lot of our locals are French. See, this game that I'm playing against Ginny, we're speaking French all along, so probably be a French crash course for some of you. Anyway, so I decided to go first. And just to make sure to remind everybody, our TO locally, we allow mulligans, so that's why Ginny mulliganed her first hand. I open an egg and digivolve into my Gabu for 0, which is great opening, and I do have my Tamer, so I won't get memory choked, and play Tamer, giving her 4. So giving 4 to Imperial is big, but at the same time, I only gave her 4 in the beginning, so not as bad as to mid to late game like I did last game. She then hatches and digivolves into a jamming Vmon for 0. Hard plays the starter deck Vmon, so that's not a searcher, so that's a little hard. I'm guessing her hand is not totally what she'd like. She does have an XV in there, and there's another Vmon. Yeah, there's a Chimeramon. We do see a Dragmon properly. I mean, thanks Ginny for showing us your hand. That makes these a lot easier. So she then passes turn by digivolving into gemming XVmon, but I start at 3 thanks to my Tamer. Swing with the Gabu, so I don't have one of my level 4s. It dies, so I get to draw 1, trash 1 from Demi. Trash another Tamer. So what am I going to do here? 7-cost event would be hard. Okay, so I play a Psychmon right there. Maybe that's just looking for a purple source for some sort of an event. Oh, yeah, Fly Bullet, though. No, it's not one of the one of the 1-cost events. Oof. So I pass over 7 memory. I think I just mentioned that, yeah. Attacking with Digimon just took away my purple source, and I was looking at my hand, and unfortunately that was the best play, was playing a 7-cost event. So she swings into security with Jamming V, hits my Gewalt, so that gives me another 7-cost event to put in trash. So much memory. 7, so she plays Davis and Ken Dual Tamer, going down to 3. But she's got an empty board at this point. Nothing in raising, because the Jamming Vmon she swung with and it crashed into one of my events. Maybe that was a mistake. Probably could have just stuck the... But she doesn't seem to have... Does she have the level 4? I don't think. Like, she was looking for more level 4s, right? So at that point, she just took the swing, figuring that jamming had odds are was going to save her. Maybe I wasn't thinking of the matchup, that I had a lot of events that could have hurt her. And then she's going to hard play the Vmon. If she's looking for rookies and for level 4s, I think that's the mistake in this game. No, she's got a level 4. Okay. She passes turn over to 3, right? Even if she disvolves for 2, passes turn over to 3. So she does. She has her level 4. It's got armor, so figuring odds are it'll survive. I hatch an egg. I have 3 memory, so I swing with Psychmon, figuring I don't need as much in this matchup. Obviously, it helps with the cost reduction on Stingmon, but it's mostly there for D-Reaper, Mirror Match, and so calling from Darkness, this broken card. So I play for 1, and I don't have any Digimon to crash, to kill, but I get to get my 2 cards out. So I do grab a Gabu and a Psychmon, which is pretty much my only 2 targets. Digivolve Gabu in the back for 0. Wow, I'm thinking a lot. So only 2 memory left. I'm going to bounce the armor to hand, get rid of that Vmon. Yeah, okay, so I was probably thinking that she seemed like she was looking and digging. Like, was she bricking for level 3s, for level 4s? So she hits Davis, trying to unbrick her hand. And that's a whiff of Ice Wall, Davis, and Mimi all going on the bottom. So I'm happy that Mimi's on the bottom and Ice Wall even more. So she's looking to unclog her hand. So returning that Lydramon felt bad, but in a sense, now that she doesn't have a Vmon, it actually sounds and seems like a clutch and champion play right there. It's kind of funny, but I gave her a lot of memory. And eventually, once you start bouncing things to hand, so she hard plays a Dino B in this situation. Maybe thinking that it opens up plays for level 6s, because she could have just hard played the Lydramon. I have Doberman in hand for 2. Digivolve. Guessing I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to swing. Swing security for 4. Am I going to trash Outlet for an extra 1,000? I will. I trash a Howling Crusher, which does nothing in this. Well, it does, but not needed in this matchup. And luckily, I hit into a fighter mode, so going through all the trash triggers, I trash a Gazi X Antibody, a Gazi, and a Death X. I get to return a purple Digimon to my hand, so I'll choose the Gazimon. I think that's right, yeah. I know that she's playing Hammer Spark and all sorts of... and Ice Wall, although Ice Wall is under the deck now. Gabu, draw 2, trash. So I seem to have trashed another 7-cost event. I think that kind of looks like a Happy Bullet. So I'm at that stage again where at least I'm getting a 5 reduction off of BeelStar. So that could make sense. If I'm playing BeelStar here for -5, I'm only paying 7, putting her to 2. She'll start at 3 with Davis. But getting rid of this Dino B, and she seems to have a clogged hand. This is exactly the position this deck likes to be in, right? Well, right, from what I understand after watching YouTube videos and talking to other players. So it's exactly what I do. So I play BeelStar for 7 and choose one of the 7-cost events. Didn't really matter which one. get rid of her level 5, and she starts at 3, but I'm trying to abuse and take care of the fact that she's stuck. She does find another EX1 Vmon, then digivolves in for Lydramon. That's a mistake again? Did she just pay 3 for Lydramon again? They only cost 2 to digivolve Ginny. They only cost 2 on Vmon. Are we gonna catch it? I mean, I corrected her a couple of times. I try to catch it, but I guess I missed it myself too, right? That's unfortunate. I don't know that the extra memory would have made a difference, but still, I pride myself in trying to make sure that we play as fair of a game and clean a game as possible. I mean, we're all human. We're only human, and I do call myself Casual Dan, and this is Shuffle Casual, so it is casual. We're not. I mean, yes, we're competitive, but we're not super competitive. So she hard plays a Vmon here. I would still start at 3, so I guess it didn't really matter. So I hatch an egg, play my Gazi that I just picked up for 0. Gazimon X for 0 also, digging a little further into the deck. Am I going to swing here? Am I going to play an event? What am I going to do with my BeelStar? I mean, we saw one Death X. I only played 2 Death X in this deck, so we saw one go to the trash. I don't think I have the other one in hand. Think. Maybe a little too much thinking. So I do swing for 11k. Hit into Dino B, so I survived that check. I do have the other Death X. Wow. Putting her to 3. Digivolve and kill the Vmon. At the end of her turn, this is my first time actually handling and playing with Death X. I mean, I've seen other people do it, but so she starts at 3, but raises her Lydramon to gain 2, so she's got 5 memory, which is a lot, as we've seen. But I know that her hand's not great. Plays a second Lydramon for 5. Hard plays, and then she's gonna go into Chimeramon. So she gets to go get, if I'm not mistaken, it's a level 5 or lower, and tuck it underneath, right? So could grab some interesting inheritables. Maybe get some sort of a draw so that she can... Yeah, we were just talking about how much DP she'll actually reduce my Death X, because she won't get the 4th color in her deck the way it's built. So odds are she won't have enough to swing into my Death X. That's 15, right? What's the Dino B inheritable? Anyway, so we're just calculating at this point how much she reduces my Digimon by, how much DP reduction, plus what strength she's going to be. So the Dino B inheritable is plus 1,000 DP for each of its colors. So that means that with 3 colors, white, green, and blue, she goes up to 11. And if she minus 1,000 for each color, I'm from 15 to 12. So 11 to 12. She can't crash into my Death X. So one of her outs is obviously to play Dragon Mode. She'll take out 2 of her level 4s. And that way there's Digimon there to die to Death X's effect. And she gets to keep her level 6. Did we forget Death X's effect? Isn't it end of her turn? Didn't really matter, right? I got game, but I kindly reminded her of Death X. The end of opponent's turn. Delete all your opponent with the lowest play cost. So she did take... I guess we forgot. Maybe we're talking about it now. She did take those Lydramons out purposefully to save her level 6, but it didn't end up mattering. I had enough swings for game, so I took game 2. At this point, I'm kind of happy. The game went how I was hoping most of these games were going to go. But it did turn out that game 1 was mostly one-sided, and game 2, as soon as I started taking over the board, was mostly one-sided. So there's only so much data you can take out of that, and hopefully whoever wins the tougher or the closer match. Well, hopefully. I mean, hopefully we get a closer or tougher match on game 3, which is not a given. So we'll see what happens. So this is 1-1 now. She gets to choose. I'm guessing she's going to choose to go first. Sorry about that little camera autofocus. I'd have to read into checking out how to fix that. It's a little annoying. In general, I find the camera and the screenshots are good. It's clear, but once in a while when we move, it kind of focuses and focuses back. It's a little annoying. Anyway, so Imperial goes first. Hatch, egg, Digivolve for 0 into starter deck Vmon, which is always good in the beginning of the game. And she hard plays her Mimi, which can come in clutch, we all know, plus gives her a green source. I hatch my egg, Digivolve into Gabu. Then I play a Mist Memory Boost, trash 2, draw 1, giving me the options for more memory a little later down the line. And I still have 1 memory here. And yeah, pass turn. Putting her to 3. I mean, there was no points in playing an option card for 7. I thought about playing, I think I have Calling in hand at that point, just for 1, putting her to 1, but she has a Memory Tamer, and you don't want to get rid or toss your Callings in this deck just for no reason, no avail. So yeah, I just basically passed turn, and she raises and Digivolves into XVmon for 2. She'll swing into my stack with jamming. She gets to draw with her Vmon for starter deck and draw from the Demi because she's got jamming. Swings into a Gazi. So, I mean, she would have survived it. As long as it was a Digimon, she was going to survive the check anyway. And she did get some nice card draw out of that attack. So, I mean, it's a win-win for her. Digivolves into Stingmon for 3 and pass turn over with 2. So, I have Gabumon. If I have a Eismon scatter mode here, perfect play. Digivolve into Eismon and then crash into her XV for 4, right? So I get all my on deletion effects and I'm getting rid of one of her level 4. I'm guessing I don't have it. I think that would have been an easy decision for me. I'm not very good at showing my hand to camera, whereas Ginny, on the other hand, she shows us a lot of what's going on. Oh, so I do pop to get 2. I'm thinking about Nailbone, but I mean, there are no great targets there, right? And it's not level 4 or lower. It's 1 level 4 and 1 level 3, so... Luckily, Ginny allowed me to take back the Mist Memory Boost. I'm surprised I even took back the Mist Memory Boost. Usually I don't... I mean, I understand thinking about the Nailbone, but... The Mist Memory Boost play was gone. It was done. I should have just kept that memory and moved on. I don't know. I took it back. Probably thinking of other stuff, so she gives it back to me, and I'm like, yes, yes, and then all of a sudden we're a little too far back. Anyway, so my Gabumon crashes into security. I hit a Dino Bee and it dies. I end up filtering and discarding a Gewalt, which I'm happy, but see, I'm surprised. That's probably it. I'm probably thinking at that point, I'm like, no. Okay, I played the Mist Memory Boost. I'll still take it. I'll play as it, and... So, so I played the Death X, passing over 7 with all the reductions, and then I Digivolve and destroy all level sub 4 or lower. So it's a big board clear. I'm passing on her a lot of memory, but she's got to build in raising, and or she could always build on board and try to DNA. But I mean, if she builds 1 stack, she knows it's gonna go from Death X, right? We had that discussion at the end of the other game where she did bring out the Digimon to die, but odds are she brought it out 2 that were the same on the same top of it, and so I mean it's very painful for her at the end of her turn if she's only got 1 Digimon. Hard plays a starter deck Vmon, so she's at 2 memory at that point, and staring down that big Death Xmon level 7. So I'm allowing her to read the effect again because she's questioning about the effect, trying to keep her board or keep her Digimon. Anyways, so in the end, I'm happy because I wasn't very happy that I allowed her. Taking back the option as I'm thinking about doing the action and not doing it is one thing, but going back the action before and taking back the missed memory boost. So I'm sure. I think in that discussion, if I remember correctly, I said no. You know what? I played it. We're on camera. This is an event. It's a store championship. It's played. It's played. I'll take the memory and I'll just make do with it. And that's why I end up hitting the Death Xmon on the board, which is still a great card, right? I mean, I'm not going to complain that I have a Death X. So she has to kill the Vmon because of the Death X end of turn event effect, and passes turn over with 3. I hatch my Demi. I mean, I don't need the black source, so I'm surprised if I'm not swing. I'm going to swing, right? There's nothing. I don't have anything bigger. I don't really have anything that I need the Death X for. I do have my purple source with my egg if I'm going to play an event. Mind you, there have been a few games where I've seen people being aggressive with their Death Xmons would kind of open them up to being attacked in the... So sometimes leaving it standing can make a difference. That way it can't be attacked and gotten rid of as easily, and the effect is still there turn after turn, but I don't know. I don't know what my hand's looking like. I'm not, like I said, I'm not very good at showing my hand, it seems, so I'd like to see. There are a few cards there, but I mean, it could just be 7 cost events. For sure I don't have a level 3 because it'd already be on the board. It is game 3, so obviously this is win or die. So I play dual colored Tamer here. Pass over turn at 1. She starts at 3. I was testing that card out. I'm hot and cold on that one. I don't know if I really like it or not. I enjoy the fact that it gives me another blue outlet. This is my 3rd Tamer. So she attacks security with her gemming X-Vmon, but she hits into a happy bullet, so kill the X-Vmon. See, that's one of the things I like. This is my 3rd. I play 3 Tamers, so I have 2 of the normal Jellymon Tamer that sets me to 3. She hard plays a Stingmon, and she's going to DNA with her Pilgrimon. But that blue-red Tamer, I mean, it opens up the fact that I can play Happy Bullet if I have it in hand and I don't have a BeelStar on the board, right? And the extra memory in the 1 or 2 games I tested before the event came up once where I actually started the turn with 4 or even 5 memory, because everybody's trying to draw cards in these games, right? So we hit a Nailbone, and I take a Gauzy out. So I don't know. Like I say, I'm not ready to take it out of the deck yet, but I can't say that it's essential to have that blue-red Tamer. She swings with Pilgrimon, does the damage that needs to be done, and I'm down to 1 security. I have 2 Digimon on the board, and she's got 4 security. So everybody's thinking at that point that, right, I mean, she's going to survive till at least 1 turn. She'll probably get that kill shot in. This is game 3, so people are starting to finish up around us and are coming in to watch what's going on around the camera on round table 1. So she's got to think about her turn and plays her Dragon Mode, taking out a Stingmon and a Lydramon, passing turn over to 4. So she's got to kill something to the Death Xmon effect, and I have 4 memory at that point. So I could easily kill the Dragon Mode, right? I gain 1 memory. We just counted our hand, so I gain even 1 more memory for the amount of cards. I'm guessing Imperial is the one that has the 8 cards or more, right? So I'm at 5 memory here. So a 7-cost event doesn't hurt me too much. I do swing over the Dragon mode. So she's got a Lydramon left with no sources and a Vmon in raising. So she still has a lot of options there. And the fact that I have to swing into Dragon mode with my Death X kind of removes one of my swings that I would have liked to play and been aggressive into her security. I don't think I've seen any... I wasn't paying attention to all the Digimon I trashed. I don't know if I have Blocker and Trash. Because that's obviously one option with BeelStar. So I have a purple source, so I do pay 7 and kill her last Digimon. Passing turn over with 2, so she starts with 3, raises her Vmon. Digivolve into X-Vmon for 2. And draws. So she plays Hammer Spark, and I remind her that I have Gazimon, so she can't play her Hammer Sparks. We have a bunch of over-the-shoulder coaches looking at what we're doing. I'm trying to shoo them away so that they don't influence the game and don't affect the video, but now everybody's been pretty good. They're looking at what we have in hand, what's going on, but everybody's curious. I mean, it's an interesting matchup. It's two different decks. One can be a little bit more combo and rush. The other one's control, more of an anti-meta deck. So she was thinking about her things, and she ends up swinging into security with her XV. That's a possibility that that's the blocker I'm actually looking for with Nailbone. So luckily she doesn't have a way to actually, well, yeah, because of Gazimi, she can't Hammer Spark, and then play Stingmon and DNA, because that would be game, right? 2 Hammer Sparks she has in hand are blocked by my Gazimon. Gazimon MVP. She's thinking, I'm surprised she plays 2 Mimis in that deck. I understand that Mimi's got an impact, but so she ends up playing the Searcher for free type Vmon, and she gets a Fighter Mode out of it, which is probably not what she's looking for at that point. Pass this turn over with 2 memory. My Death X effect will happen. Basically, she threw away that Vmon knowing she wasn't closing this turn. I get to unsuspend, draw, and I gain 1 memory from my Dual Tamer. I decided I was going to play Calling. I decided to swing first. My Gazimon dies. And then I kill her X-Vmon with my Death X. So again, the fact that I have to control her board kind of slows me down, but that's fine. So I end up playing a BeelStarmon and played Nailbone, so I get my Gazimon back and Vilemon, so I have a 6k blocker now on the board. She hatches her egg, digivolves into Vmon for 0. She is at 5 memory. That's quite a bit again. I've been giving her a lot of memory. Hard plays her XV for 0. I remind her of the Death X. Tries to play her Hammer Sparks again, and then I remind her that I brought back my Gazimon. Right? I mean, I guess it makes sense that it was confusing. The fact that it left and came back, and with all these events, I mean, it's not a deck that... Locally, we don't have many BeelStarmon players. We had one guy who rocked it for a while, a couple of formats ago, but that's pretty much it. So she then tries to play Hidden Potential Discovered. And a reminder, the Digimon has to be green. She says, yeah, but I have a green source, right? A green Digimon. No. It's a green Digimon that she has to tap. So we were just talking about how that blocker changes things, and looking at her hand. Can anybody actually see anything? I think she has game in her hand. People are gonna explain to her after the game that she could have won. So she did straight Digivolves into Paildramon for 4. I just remind her, well, you just threw away that card. She's like, okay, well, we're on camera, it doesn't matter, we'll just do it. So she did. So that Paildramon ended up dying to Deathexmon. So I unsuspend. People are telling her she could have won. They're going to explain to her after. So I swing with Gazimon. I had the 1 extra memory, but I don't think that's going to matter. So swing Gazi for 2k. Gazi dies. Swing BeelStar for 11. I give her Dual Tamer. Doesn't matter. So that's game, right? Unless it's an event. No. Deathex survives. Vilemon attacks. And for the game. See, so we have people here. I was going to say congrat. People are trying to tell her that she should have hard played the Stingmon. And Stingmon could have used the HPD. And then you Digivolve into Dino B. Yes, Dino B comes in suspended, but suspends the blocker. And then you have a level 5. So she could have mimied for game with the jamming XVmon. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Catch you with the next one.